everyone, I'm your host Nivina Maniraj and welcome to another episode of RHB Money Chat, where we provide you with tips and insights on how to better manage your finances. Now, the recent global pandemic has made all of us take a pause and reconsider our protection, both in terms of health and wealth. And a topic that has become increasingly popular is legacy planning. So how do we ensure that we are leaving a lasting legacy for our loved ones? Joining us today is Sunny Leung, Head of Banca Assurance RHB Bank Berhad, together with May Wong, Chief Banca Assurance Officer of Tokyo Marine Life Malaysia, RHB's exclusive life insurance partner, who will be shedding some light on legacy planning. Thank you for joining us, Sunny and May.
Hi.
Hi, Neve. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, in recent years, and especially due to the raging COVID-19 pandemic, legacy planning has become an increasingly popular topic of discussion, as many of us have been forced to rethink legacy planning for our families. However, many of us, and myself included, this is not a topic that we are familiar with. So to kickstart today's session, Sunny, maybe we can start with a brief explanation of what legacy planning is exactly.
Basically, legacy planning, in the financial sense, is the act of being able to support your loved ones financially even when you're no longer around.
Right.
Did you know, Neve, that majority of us learn to save from our parents and our grandparents,
Right.
who influences us strongly with the examples that they show. Unfortunately, for the older generation, they had limited options to legacy planning products. Therefore, whatever they had accumulated in terms of asset or cash was passed down to the next generation as is.
Right.
And they hope for the best for them.
Correct.
Gone are the days where we save the money under our pillow and mattresses. And fortunately for us today, we have access to much more structured and stronger financial products.
Right.
That is able to help us grow our money in terms of value and to also legally protect it, that it can be passed on to the next generation safely.
Correct.
Let me share with you, Deep, some statistics from our bank. Did you know that out of our customers who are 18 years old and above, who are able to do financial planning for their legacy needs, only a very low percentage of 10% are actively doing their financial planning today. Now, as a bank who takes pride in helping our customers with their financial planning, we aim to educate them in this area. After all, having a really good legacy plan means you are able to support the next few generations financially.
Right. And that's a really important statistic because it's so very low that it's only 10% of our customers that are looking into legacy planning. May, as a subject matter expert, maybe you can elaborate a little bit on exactly what makes legacy planning so important.
Yes, Neve. Legacy planning, or more commonly known as estate planning, is definitely very important. These are the assets and wealth that you have worked hard for and accumulated over years.
Right.
In Malaysia, it's sad to say that we have very little awareness of estate planning. Imagine that in 2016, there is estate amounted to 60 billion ringgit, right? And in just 4 years, the unclaimed estate has grown to 70 billion ringgit.
That's a very steep increase.
Correct. It could be due to the wrong perception of many people that legacy planning or estate planning is only meant for the rich or wealthy and for the elderly people.
Right.
Yeah, in fact, this is not true. As mentioned by Sunny just now, people as young as 18 years old already eligible for estate planning. And in fact, those with even simple assets such as a savings account or even just a car already should have their estate planning. Personally, I have witnessed a friend of mine that have to suffer entire 2 years after the father passed away. Right, 1 year just to get that letter of administration.
I see.
And the second year is to spend on transferring of the estate to the family members. So during the 2 years, the whole family really running out of cash, couldn't pay the mortgage. The younger sister has to stop schooling.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it is not because of they do not have money, but a million of asset actually being stuck in the estate, right? If the father have done a proper estate planning, I'm sure the whole situation will be totally different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there was an important point that you mentioned, because I think when you think about legacy planning, most often than not, people think about your investments or, a windfall or certain things like that. But you also mentioned your savings account and something as simple as owning a car, that you have to make a plan for that later on, right? So, and it's really unfortunate when you hear of stories like this. And I'm sure our viewers would be very interested to know how they can avoid having to go through this. So, Sani, how does legacy planning help to resolve the issues of estates being held up in the event of the untimely passing of a loved one?
Right, Neve. Legacy planning, if done properly using the right tools, can be extremely useful during stressful time like this. For the instance that May has brought up for her friend, had the father drawn up a will and maybe bought the right life insurance policy,
Right.
the property would have been instantaneously passed on to the next of kin, and the insurance proceeds passed on to the beneficiaries fast and safely. This would really save them a lot of hassle, as the last thing that they want to do is to be involved in a legal tussle over their property.
Exactly. So also, as we are talking now, I'm beginning to understand exactly how important legacy planning is. So for our viewers out there, Sunny, maybe you can elaborate a little bit on if they're looking to start their legacy planning journey, what would you recommend?
Fantastic. For any customers who are looking to start their legacy planning, majority of our customers opt for A, to draw up a will for the assets that they own, and B, it's getting increasingly popular that customers choose life insurance policy to pass on their wealth to the next of kin.
I see. It's interesting that you mentioned life insurance, because that's not what people would think of, and like the first option that they would think of, right? Maybe you can tell us exactly how life insurance can be used as a tool for legacy planning.
Yes, Neve. I'm really glad that more and more people trust life insurance is a better tool for their legacy planning. Right? In fact, it is also being called as a modern tool for legacy planning.
Right.
There are three main reasons of why life insurance is a better option. One, it provides peace of mind because it gives you life protection.
Right.
Right. Second, it is predictable. One person can really know how much exactly the loved ones will be getting. That is through the sum assured.
Correct.
Right? And they also would know who exactly will be getting it. That is through the nomination process.
Right.
And the third reason will be it is definitely affordable. It doesn't require any setup costs or setup fees.
Okay.
With just a couple of thousands, you really can have a proper legacy planning.
It's a good point to mention, me, because I think in a lot of people's minds, people will think that legacy planning and estate planning, is actually an expensive thing, and they wouldn't realize how affordable it actually can be. Sunny, what should our viewers know about using life insurance as a tool for legacy planning?
Sure, Neve. You'd be surprised as to how many customers that we speak to today who are still unaware of using life insurance policy for their legacy planning.
That's right.
Having a really good long-term life insurance plan, which provides adequate coverage and also a long-term guaranteed income stream, can be very, very helpful for the next generation. Also, some customers come to the fact that the insurance proceeds are tax-free.
Oh, I see.
Which is helpful for the next generation to keep the money that was intended for them.
Right.
Let me share with you a story that we heard in the branch that day, Neve, when we were speaking to a customer.
Okay.
This customer was just telling us how much he loved his grandchildren. And because he loved his grandchildren so much, he would like to leave behind a gift of love for the grandchildren. And he was thinking of a few ways to do this. One of them was maybe to buy them their first car, or maybe to set aside some money in fixed deposit to pass to them. But he was reluctant, and we asked him why. And he said that if I buy them a car, they will eventually sell off the car, and then they will forget about the legacy of their grandfather.
Right.
Or if I left them some money in fixed deposit, they would eventually use up the money very fast, and same thing, they will forget the legacy of the grandfather.
That's so true.
So he's been searching around, trying to find something that he can park his wealth aside that would fulfill the needs of having a long-term legacy that his grandchildren and maybe even the next generation will know of.
Right.
Neve is actually from stories such as this that have inspired us to develop our new bank assurance product called RHB Treasure 100, jointly developed with Tokyo Marine. This is a long-term life insurance policy that provides coverage and also a guaranteed income stream to up to age 100.
Wow.
For just a short premium commitment of 5 or 10 years.
I see.
It also comes with a few riders, namely one which will ensure the continuity of this plan should the payer be no longer around due to an untimely death or total permanent disablement.
Okay.
Needless to say, when we proposed this solution to the customer, he was extremely happy because he knew for a fact that he would be able to leave a yearly gift of love that will remind his grandchildren and maybe even the next generation of his love for them.
Okay, Sunny, I'm sure that would have made the grandchildren extremely happy because let's be real, there's not any one of us who wouldn't be happy to receive a yearly bonus ang pao from our grandparents, right? And also, Sunny, I'd like to thank you for telling us all these stories and also your experiences because I think it will help our viewers better understand why we say that legacy planning is very important. So, May, before we end our session for today, maybe you can tell us a little bit more on the thought process that went into designing RHB Treasure 100.
Yes, Neve, I'm sure you would have heard of this old saying, one's wealth could not pass 3 generations.
That's right.
This Treasure 100 is really designed to break this old saying. We designed the benefits payout that can be passed from generation to generations and for the next 100 years. And that's also why we really hope that all RHB customers could benefit from this Treasure 100 plan that we just recently launched.
Let's hope that our customers also and our viewers will actually explore this. And I want to thank you both for taking the time to join us today. I'm sure our viewers found this session as enlightening as I did. If you'd like to find out more on legacy planning, please follow the link below and we at RHB will be more than happy to assist you. If you have any questions for us, please comment below and we'll try our best to answer them. Stay tuned for the next episode of RHB Money Chat. Remember to stay safe and I'll see you again soon.